the marketer of the day. It's Justin Nimergood here, and he has a background of 25 years as a corporate sales executive, but he made this strategic shift into real estate more than a decade ago. He started in California, and he's now residing in Dallas, Texas. And he is a negotiator. He delivers top-tier customer service, but he's here to tell us about his success in real estate, his unique flavor, and then what we can pick up and learn from him. He's here to help you find your dream home, sell for top dollar, grow through real estate, so much more. He's seen some stuff. He's learned some stuff. He can help us shortcut that path to success. So, Mr. Justin, glad to see you. Glad to be speaking with you.
Hey, Robert. Thanks for having me. It's good to reconnect with you. I know we connected a couple years ago over LinkedIn. It's always good to stay with the network and, grow together. So thanks for having me on today.
Absolutely. And LinkedIn's such a strange platform, right? I remember seeing it like 10, 15 years ago. I'm like, what is this, a place for resumes? And then maybe like 5, 10 years ago, I was like, okay, well, people are posting regularly. And then I was like, oh, you can slide in someone's DMs. And even that turned into like, you have this constant, just churn's a bad word, but like it's constant activity. And then you create this cloud around yourself, and then you kind of see what naturally develops from there. And like, so many people don't get it, right? So many people don't network, they don't podcast, and then they wonder, well, why am I always struggling for money? Why do I not have the people in my orbit that I need? So, man, it's time to show people the way, right? It's time to do better and act better. So, with all that dumped on us, what are you currently focused on? What has you so passionate, excited, fired up?
Yeah, and thanks for the intro, Robert. So just to clarify for the listeners out there, I've been in sales and business for over 25 years. I did start on the corporate side with a company called Cisco Systems way back in the day. It's where I learned my sales chops, if you will. Very fortunate and grateful to have gone through the training and just have been a part of that organization and all that I learned from a sales methodology perspective. And, a couple of years after that, I hit a glass ceiling there, and I decided to pivot into entrepreneurship. And I started with real estate on kind of the finance side, if you can believe it, underwriting, doing jumbo sized loans and kind of on the finance side. And then after a couple of years of that, I realized, I'm a little too ADD to sit behind a cubicle or sit behind my desk and just crunch numbers all day. And I ended up pivoting into commercial real estate sales. And then now I've kind of pivoted yet again with more of a focus on residential. Although about 20% of my sales in real estate are still commercially focused. So been doing that for about 15 years. It's been a hell of a ride. I've really enjoyed it. Lots of learning lessons, which I'm sure we'll get into here today. A lot to share, but what I'll say is it's an absolute thrill to be part of an industry that does change a lot, has a lot of complexity to it. There's always moving pieces, and so Nimergood Real Estate, which was really born, it was born 15 years ago, right? But it was born as a thought. It was a reimagined business, basically, if you will. And now today it's a full-fledged business with employees. I have contractors. I have people that are a part of it. We're growing our team. I have a team of 42 agents currently, growing by the month, literally. So we're doing a little bit of everything in Nimergood Real Estate these days, right? From, my podcast, Real Estate Rockstars, to I host a monthly mastermind coaching mastermind for one of my programs, which is the art of the sale. So it's foundational sales training and coaching for real estate professionals. So we have that going on, and then we have just our day-to-day, sales and recruiting, right, of doing deals. And I'm proud to say that we actually are on pace this month to have our record-setting month as a organization. It's going to be probably about a $15 million month for us as a team. And, we're looking forward, we're looking ahead. Lots of good things ahead for us.
So much, right? Even just listening, it takes a while, but that's good, right? It's good to be busy and have activity and be on that path for world domination. You have to wonder if there's like two types of people, right? Because with real estate, you hear a lot of like when the market gets a little difficult, right? There's some kind of downturn, some kind of recession. Like there's that group that just, they go do something else. They come back in 5 years, right? They wait it out, and that just seems like that's no way to live your life, right? And then there's that other side of the coin, and there's the people that like they do so much, and especially with like the leadership, the team building side, they say like, well, I can't just do it on my own. I have my other agents, I have my kind of my contractors, you have all these other people, because if you're just doing it yourself, you're the bottleneck. And then like the with if there's someone who's like really serious about real estate, you go and look on their Instagram, you're like, aha, cool, they're at like 10,000, 15,000 plus. There's like the sort of quasi celebrity factor. And do you ever like sometimes like second guess that, or like what kind of encouragement can we lay down about someone saying, well, I just want to do real estate, but I don't know about all the other stuff, the social media and the masterminding, but it's cool to have it all have this like machine that just like creates all this positive chaos for you, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, Robert. And I'll tell you, one of my epiphanies was knowing that of myself, actually, because, for decades, I've known what social media is. I've had social media accounts. I won't call myself a social media guru in any way, shape, or form. Yeah, I mean, I think I have like 13,000 followers on Instagram. I've maxed out my Facebook friends, right? So I have to constantly delete people to let other people into the network. And that's all great, but it's not really my gift. And so what I would advise people out there is figure out what your gift is. And if it's not your gift, outsource it, right? Outsource it to someone else that actually loves this stuff. And I will say the power of the virtual assistant these days is real. I have a phenomenal virtual assistant from the Philippines, speaks perfect English, understands English perfectly. We have a great collaborative working relationship, and he's able to do things with my social media that I've never been able to do myself. So I would say, to your earlier point, yes, it is a gift, but understand what your true gifts are. And if it's not really something you want to focus on, but you need to focus on it, just outsource it. There's a lot of talented people out there in the marketplace right now.
I like that. Yeah, and it's like it needs to be done, but perhaps not by you. And man, like making that shift from having to do it all to delegating and showing leadership and project management, like it's a whole other beast, isn't it? I know that, like for me, like it hurt my brain because I thought that I would be going from 100% doing the work to 0% doing the work and 100% paying for it. But it's not 100%, is it? It's like you dial it back a little bit and you're still paying someone to do it, but you still have to like go back and check and reiterate and answer their questions, and because they can get stuck, right? And then next thing you know, they're sitting there for like days on end, and it's like, oh, hey, Justin, I need to know what the background should be, or I need to log into this, and it's like you still need to pay them attention. And so I'm curious about like what your growing pains were, as far as like, I know you lead a lot of people, but there's all these like kind of taught skills, right? As far as like managing people and having the patience, emotional intelligence. So, I mean, what kind of difficulties have you had with the team building, outsourcing, delegation?
Yeah, so I mean, it's the founder's trap, right? It's the classic founder's trap where you feel like you have to do everything for everyone. You have to do all your activities on your own because God forbid you spend any money to, have other people help you out with it. And it was a mindset shift for me. And it happened fairly recently. It was years ago, but it was still, more recent than not. And I can remember saying to myself, I'm like, do I really want to be doing all these different things? Do I really want to be doing my own paperwork on my real estate deals? Like, hell no. No, I don't. Right. And so when you make that mindset shift and you really figure out what it is, again, you're gifted at, you're good at, and things that are, and this is the key here, Robert, things that are what I used to call back in my corporate days revenue generating activities. In real estate, we call them commission generating activities because we're commission based. So those CGAs, if it's not a CGA, I don't do it, right? So a lot of the social media stuff is not directly commission generating, right? Paperwork, not commission generating. You need to do it to get paid, but it's not necessarily a commission generating activity. Networking, going to events, following up with clients, following up with prospects, that is a commission generating activity. So that is where I focus my day and my week. And so what I've had to do is teach this on with my team. And that's the hardest thing for people to get over is like, okay, I'm going to spend what on a transaction coordinator, which is the person that'll do your paperwork in real estate, right? Oh, $500 a deal? Is she worth it? Hell yes, she's worth it. $500 a deal, I pay her $1,000 a deal. Honestly, for what she is doing, and she's freeing up my time to not get inundated in the weeds with this paperwork. It's huge. It's huge. So that frees me up so that instead of having to go through and dig in the trenches with one deal and all that paperwork, I can move on to the next deal. I can move on to the next prospect, right? And that has created this machine, as you called it earlier, where now it's not uncommon for me to do 100 grand a month in gross commission, right? Whereas before I would be happy if I did $10,000-$20,000. So the game is different now. People have to understand you have to seek outside help in order to scale your business. If you only want to do $10,000 to $20,000 a month, that's fine. But if you want to make $1 million or more a year in real estate, you have to start outsourcing. You have to start putting the right team and pieces around you in order to help you scale your business.
Very nice. So you have your rules basically, right? You say, well, is this something that is not a CGA, and is this something that gives me more momentum, speeds me up? And that's like another one of those, sometimes takes months, years to get our head wrapped around that, right? It's like this idea of, well, everyone has this limited amount of time, so I'll put this money in order to shortcut my time to get it to a faster result. And it's like the poor person thinking versus rich person thinking, isn't it? It's like a whole other paradigm, whole other mindset. And there is like the risk and excitement involved, but hey, if you don't like that, go get a job at IBM, right? Go get a job as an accountant. And even that's risky and scary because you might get a decimal point wrong or you still might get fired. And so you're on this like real estate roller coaster journey, and you're in California and you're in Texas, and I'm in California, and I hear California always getting so poo-pooed about the real estate situation, right? And I'm not even really sure why. And then I also hear bad things about Texas, like the Californians move to Texas, but then the property taxes are higher or something like that. But you tell me, like, why do people poo-poo on California and Texas real estate, and what's the deal?
Because we're two of the best markets in the country. That's why people are jealous. I'm sorry, but like if you're in, no disrespect to Iowa, that is not as highly desirable real estate as on the coast. So you're Florida, you're California for sure, amazing. And then Texas, and a lot of Texas is because of what we've seen from corporations moving from other states and replanning in Texas and making that their new corporate headquarters. It's brought a lot of people here, which has helped elevate the real estate, right? And you still have plenty of entrepreneurs out here. I mean, Austin is certainly an entrepreneurial spirited town. But even Dallas now, which was just, I mean, back in the day it was EDS and it was all, white collar workers. Even Dallas now has quite the entrepreneurial scene. So, I mean, people are poo-pooing on it because they're jealous. Let's be honest. I mean, who wouldn't really want to live on the coast, on the ocean in California? I mean, come on. It's the best. You're living the dream there. You're paying through your teeth for the space and for that land on the ocean, but you can only live once, so who cares?
Yeah. And I think about that too. Like I'm fortunate enough where I was able to get a home at 23, and I've been tempted to sell sometimes, right? Because California real estate, it shoots way up, but it's like, yeah, but where would I live? Would I go and move to one of those other states? And I wouldn't be happy, right? And then some people leave California and come back poor, and so you think, well, get in there and hang on and ride the wave up, right? Make it work for you. And it seems like a lot of the subtext of what you and I have been talking about here is be a problem solver, right? If you have this problem in front of you, don't just don't get mad about it or give up before you even start. Like, figure out a way to navigate this. And it has me really curious about like what you've built up, right? Because you said you started in California, you started in Texas, but like what kind of deals did you have? Were there any like times you felt like quitting? Were there struggles along the way? Tell me about your problems.
Yeah, I mean, I felt like quitting all the time, right? And a little bit of it was because I was spoiled. So I got super, super lucky. Although some would say luck is when opportunity, meets preparation, right? So I mean, old Jim Rohn quote there. But my first deal in real estate in California, and this was over 15 years ago, and it was within the first couple of months of me getting my license, was a listing in San Jose. It was a small little house. I mean, it was 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, probably 1,200 square feet, but it's in San Jose, so it's in a very highly desirable location. And I double ended the deal. So I was supposed to just be the listing agent, which, by the way, I was able to secure 7% commission. And this is many, many years ago. So back in the day, that was not common. I mean, it's still kind of not common now, but to get 7%, that's pretty good. But usually you take four, you give the buyer's agent three, or you'd split it three and a half, three and a half. I literally went door knocking in the neighborhood, and the neighbor that was behind and catty cornered was, as you might suspect, interested in the property. The back of his property connected with the backyard of this property. So he always imagined creating one large backyard because he had these beautiful orange and citrus trees in his backyard. And sure as shit, he was the lead, buyer for this San Jose property. So I double ended the deal because I found the buyer and I already had the listing, 7%. So I made, like, I want to say about $85,000 on that first deal. And I'm like, oh, this is easy, right? But as it turns out, it's not so easy. That was pretty lucky. God had blessed me with that deal, but it also kind of spoiled me. And then I got discouraged when I wasn't able to close the deal the next month, and the next month after that, and the next month after that. And then finally I started to figure out, okay, deals don't just happen out of thin air. You have to go find them. You have to go hunt for them. And, I got back on the right track, but I will tell you, Robert, that little lull that I experienced after that first deal taught me a lot. It was some major growing pains. It was a major wake up call for me that what was required to be successful in real estate, not just one time or not just for the short term, but for the long term, right? You want to be successful in long term, you got to be consistently having pipeline, having deals going on. Otherwise, you're going to not eat some months, and that's how it goes. So yeah, that's a bit about my story of kind of, I would say, getting grounded in real estate
Yeah,
eventually.
the curse of success, right? You got that deal too easily, and then you're like, wait, why isn't it always like this? And something I think a lot about with sales is that idea of lag time, right? That it's like, well, even like on LinkedIn, like never mind even real estate, but you put out the messages, and even you and me have been talking for years, right? So it's like sometimes it takes like 90 days, or sometimes I chase people for like 6 months, 2 years, 3 years just to sell someone on a podcast or narrating an audiobook. And it's like when and like they say, like there's always a season for something, right? Whenever I'm in the season of like really getting the process started, I'm talking to so many people. I'm just like, why is this not working? I'm talking to 2,000 people. Where is it happening? And then when the season shifts and there's all the deals coming in, I'm just like, man, now this is too many. I'm taking on too much. But then it's like, if I backed off the gas pedal, then it would catch up to me later, and I'd be like, geez, I wish that when all the message replies or all the transactions from coming in, I wish I'd pushed harder, because like it's never enough, right? Even if even with in your case, right? If you had all these properties to buy and sell, you'd hire more people, you'd figure out more management, and it's like it's such a mind game, isn't it? Of saying like, oh, I should slow down, take a break, okay, but then in 2 months you'll be like, well, why am I working so hard for not having enough? Because of that dang lag time, right? It's such a weird just trick. But
Oh,
in these last few minutes, I want to make sure that we cover what's important to you, because here I am kind of trying not to one up you, and I'm so excited talking to you. So in this conversation we're having, what's the missing question? What do you think we should be talking about? What do you think I should be asking you? I just don't know what to ask you.
I mean, well, first of all, what you're talking about is the law of reaping and sowing. And I think it's a really important law that all business professionals and entrepreneurs should be in tune with. And to your point, if you don't do that activity 90 days from now, you're going to be hurting. You're going to be hurting. As far as what to ask me, I mean, you've covered the basics. I would say, what's next, right, is probably the only other question. And I would say What's next? You mentioned global domination. I would like to dominate globally. I'd like Nimergood Real Estate to be a globally recognized brand. I come from a very diverse background in terms of my heritage. Having German, Italian, Scandinavian, I have all these different walks of life that are part of my DNA, if you will. And so I would like Nimergood Real Estate to be a global brand. And it's for the simple fact that not many people would know or have ever even known a Nimergood. You would never find another Nimergood other than myself and my immediate family, the five of us here in the States. And the reason is because it's largely a Germanic roots. And the folks over in Germany, when they came over to America, they changed the name. So one thing I'd like to do in my lifetime is find some of those people. But in the near term, I'd like to help Nimergood Real Estate be a globally recognized, brand name, right? And we're going to do that brick by brick, stone by stone. It's really the next 24 months is all about build. It's all about build the team, continue building the team. And by building the team, I mean building them up. I want to build up leaders, right? Because the only way you can truly scale a business long term is to replace yourself. So I want to be in a position in 24 months where I can step away if I need to for a month. My wife is Vietnamese. If we need to go to Vietnam for a month, we can go for a month, and the business doesn't take a hit because of it, right? So that's what I would say is coming next for us and for our business right now.
Very nice. So literally world domination, but in the path to that, building more leaders, getting this business to the part where the other people can have some of the power, make some of the decisions. That way you could step away if you needed to, and you're just kind of growing this big organization. So exciting times ahead. And if someone says, all right, a lot of what Justin had to say about real estate, like who are your people? Who should be contacting you?
If you are an athlete, you're a celebrity, if you are someone that values luxurious real estate, or you're a portfolio investor, those are typically the people that I work with the most, right? These are people that see real estate as a true asset. They invest in it heavily. It makes up a good chunk of their portfolio, right? They probably have some stocks and they have some other investments, but real estate is a very core part of their portfolio. Reach out to me because with my financial background, I'm able to see things, I would say, a little differently than most agents out there. I see things that other agents certainly won't catch on to or even know how to swizzle from a financial perspective. And also with my background in corporate, right, I understand for those corporate executives out there that also have a portfolio, I understand their day-to-day pains, right, and what they're looking for. And a lot of them, they're looking to retire, right? They especially the older folks, they're looking to retire, but they need to have that financial freedom in order to do so. So I can help you achieve that. Those are the people that I really speak to.
Very exciting. You figured a lot of interesting things out. You should say celebrity or athlete or someone who is heavily invested in real estate. Contact Mr. Justin Nimergood at nimergoodrealestate.com. It's real estate with you in mind, whether you a home buyer, home seller, or home investor. Need to talk to this guy. You need to get that conversation started. He's licensed in Texas and California. Phone number is 949-378-5551. That's 949-378-5551. Justin at nimergoodrealestate.com. So go to that website, check it out, NIMERGOOD realestate.com, and see what he has to offer. Check out the About page, check out what's on the website, and if it makes sense, if it's worth a conversation, click the contact button and have that conversation with Mr. Justin Nimergood. And before I let you go, Mr. Justin, you've already dropped so many amazing life lessons and quotes, but it's time for the scary part of the show where I try to stump you, I try to put you on the spot by asking you about a fun quote or lesson that has served you. So what comes to mind as far as a fun quote or lesson?
Oh, I have to go with my man Jim Rohn. I have to go with the quote of, in order to have everything you've ever wanted, you have to help others have everything they want, right? So help others, and essentially you help yourself.
I love it. Help others, help yourself, and let's think about that as we go to nimergoodrealestate.com. NRE, they recognize that real estate is more than just transactions. It's the cornerstone of dreams. the key to building wealth and the path to a brighter future. So let his team build you that brighter future, whether you're pursuing the dream of home ownership, seeking a strategic investment, or embarking on a new life chapter. They are here to make it a reality for you. Nimergoodrealestate.com. And thank you, Mr. Justin, for showing up, stopping by, being an awesome human being and educating us. I'm glad that you came by and for being here. So thanks
Thank
for
you.
telling us what we need to know.
Thank you, Robert. Really appreciate it. Good reconnecting with you.